in the negotiations, right? The U.S. does.
Well, and there's just really, we don't like, we're 10% of the size. We depend on the U.S. in every way, like literally for our security. And that's another thing I struggle with the political party that's like elbows up, but like we don't, like, I don't even know what that means. I haven't Googled it. Like I literally just have seen the term and people making fun of it, but it's the idea of like, what are we doing? Like our military spending
someone
is
from the
in
U.S.
the toilet.
texted me that today.
Like,
Elbows up, and I'm like, what are you
even talking about? Yeah.
What's that about?
I don't know. It was some lame thing, but I mean, you got a bunch of people that are just puppets and parrots with no idea really of how like weak our military is and how little we've spent on, even in places like NATO, like we've just completely abdicated and been thankful. And there again, I'm fine with that, but don't be a big mouth. Just be humble and realize where your help comes from.
Yes.
And that we depend on the USA, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
even if it's Donald Trump.
Or whoever, yeah. We're not going to stiff arm the USA into, like, we're not going to win in a trade war. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just think, like I say, and I don't know what the negotiating tactic is. And I wouldn't want, I guess for me, I wouldn't want to be Mark Carney in that spot. I think like now you've done actually the easy part.
You think you would get rid of that milk quota system?
Who?
Mark Carney?
No. They don't have a lot of guts. Like they're not going to make tough decisions. They're and I think even in that sense, Pierre Poilievre, when he finally, I mean, I don't know if he'll run next time again now. I think he was barely hanging on to his seat tonight, maybe or maybe not win it. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think politically, federally, people will be obviously still very supportive of him because he really, he took the party, like the Conservative Party went up in seats, the NDP went down, and the Liberal parties, I think when we watched last were the same, and there was 5 new ridings added. So they didn't add one seat. They're just, it was really just a decimation of the NDP that helped them to kind of stay where they're at, right? So, and that there again, I could see that all changing. I could see that in time. In 4 years from now, and there's another election,
or in 1 year,
or 1 year. But I mean, Donald Trump may be gone, or maybe that tariff thing will be over, and the way that our governments work, a lot of the revenue comes from taxation of product. And something like oil and gas, for example, like the lower the price of oil is, the less revenue they get. And so part of the reason that some of the huge spending from and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but 2021 and 22, a lot of those deficits were I mean, they were huge still, but they were not as bad simply because
the
oil prices were so high. Gas, I don't forget what it was.
So why are they against putting pipelines in then?
Because they're supposed to be fans of green energy, and it's a utopia. Like, I mean, I've plugged the Looney Hour on before here, but they had a podcast recently with a guy named Doomberg. Great podcast. Like, just it's natural gas and oil are here to stay, and obviously there are other forms of energy, but any form of energy that cannot be constant and on demand
won't
work. And so even solar.
Usually the bloc is very against pipelines. If they're going to be the party that's going to be the swing.
Well, I mean, Mark Carney would appreciate that because then at least you'll have a scapegoat for saying he can't build more pipelines, right? And the reality is that even just the cost, if you look at what it costs now to build these things and the red tape, all of that needs to change. There needs to be full scale, change at that level, cutting of red tape, and it's not going to happen. There'll probably need to be a lot harder times. No, I think even the Conservative Party. I don't.
That's fair.
I don't think. It's really, really hard to fire.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, bringing the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.